with, I guess, one of the biggest stars, and I don't have to guess at it, I know it, Eddy Arnold. Hello, Eddie.
How are you, Walter?
I am very good, and you?
I'm just fine, just fine.
We heard that you were doing some television work out there on the West Coast.
Yes, that's right. I've been rehearsing today. We're going to tape tomorrow.
What exactly is it that you're doing?
Well, this is the Johnny Mann Stand-Up and Cheer program.
Wonderful. That's a good show and a bright, musical, fantastic show. What will you be singing on there?
I'm going to be singing several of my old things, Walter, because it's a salute to me. And so I'll be doing Make the World Go Away and, several things like that.
Eddie, we're going to expand a little bit here and go back a little bit, but you're talking to our audience in St. Louis, and I feel like that probably in your young career you have a tender spot in your heart for St. Louis because Purina has their headquarters here, and doesn't that hold some memories for you back when you first started on radio?
Oh, it certainly does. My heart will always be warm to the Ralston Purina people. I was on the air for them for, oh golly, from about 46 until late 46, until 53.
You were just a young guy when you left the farm out there in Tennessee and headed out for that career.
Oh, certainly.
18 years old or so, and
I was 15. Make it younger.
A lot of dreams in your thoughts, right? I tell you, it's been quite a musical road too. Eddy Arnold, Hall of Fame member, and so many honors have been heaped upon you. It would take us from now until the show signed off at midnight for us to tell all about them. Also, don't you have I was wondering, you were with a musical group early in your career, the Golden West Cowboys. Was Pee Wee King leading that group then?
Oh yes, that was Pee Wee's group.
Yeah.
Oh, certainly. I helped put spurs on Pee Wee's accordion.
Oh, boy. That's something else. Let's listen to you right now, then we'll get right back to you, Eddy Arnold.
All right.
Here we go. Oh, that's a beauty of a song. Beauty of a song. Eddy Arnold.
Are you there?
Yeah, there you are.
I'm sitting right in a hotel in Los Angeles.
We were just talking about the beauty of Missouri not being that far removed from the beauty of Tennessee. We're in the middle of flaming fall time here right now.
I know, and that's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time. Someday I'll get up enough nerve to see. My hobby is boating.
Right.
I have a cruiser. And someday I'm going to get up enough nerve to come on out of the Cumberland River into the Ohio and then get into Mississippi and come up to St. Louis.
Hey, listen, that's a trip that I've always wanted to make since I've been here, is take the vacation and go down river, maybe to New Orleans, But I don't know enough about river navigation because I was a lake man when I was down in Texas, and I just haven't learned about river navigation yet.
Well, it's very simple. I have several friends that have done that, I have several friends that have gone by boat, by water, from Tennessee, all the way to New Orleans and then on over to Florida.
This is a wonderful country. Somebody told me the other day, well, we're short of this and we're short of that, and this, that, and the other's in trouble and everything. But when you look around you, it's a wonderful country, and the things that we can do without asking or getting permission or getting papers to do it or things like this. I think it's a wonderful place to live in.
Listen, there is no other country like this, and I just saw something on the news that made me very happy. Secretary of State Kissinger seems has kind of brought Sadat and Golda Meir closer to an agreement.
To a peace, yeah.
And that looks good.
It certainly does, and that's great to hear.
Yeah.
Eddy Arnold on our telephone to the stars. Well, I know that here in Missouri, is it the quail or the dove season? It's about to open up.
It's a quail season.
Quail season.
Well, I guess both. They'll be shooting the doves in a few days, but I know the quail season will be open.
You're quite a quail and dove hunter, aren't you?
I never have hunted dove, but I do hunt quail from time to time. I go down in Georgia and hunt quail.
You still have some dogs and?
No, I have no bird dogs.
You don't have any bird dogs?
No, I have no bird dogs. But I go to a place down there. I have a friend that has a lot of land, and I hunt down there.
Didn't you and Roy Acuff used to kind of joke at each other about your bird dogs or?
No, that would have to be somebody else. 'Cause I've never owned bird dogs.
I see. Well, you're an outdoorsman, though. You do like to bird hunt. And
yes.
enjoy the outdoors, and we were just talking about that here on our show tonight. I'm just overjoyed to have you on the radio here. You've sold more than 50 million records. Do you know how many records you've sold, Eddy Arnold?
Well, Walter, I don't know exactly. I can tell you this. In 1970, I appeared 2 weeks in New York at the Waldorf Astoria.
Mm-hmm.
And while there, the RCA people gave me an award for my 60 millionth record, but that's 1970, and I don't know what I've sold since then.
I think somebody told me the other day that it's unofficial and they'd have to do all kinds of audits to find out, but they thought that you had sold more records than anybody else in the world, and certainly you at one time were among the top 10 record sellers, and they knew that you were probably among the top 3 or 5.
I'm in the top 5. There are people that have sold more than I have, and I would kid the people if I didn't say that. But I'm happy with what I've done.
I guess we were all a little surprised when last year, I believe it was, after such a long relationship with the people at RCA, and of course we all know that, and you had a lot of hits with them, when all of a sudden Eddy Arnold popped up on a brand new, well, not a brand new label, a very well-known record label, MGM,
yeah.
But probably more so because of the change. And it seemed that last year was a year for change among major artists on record labels.
Yeah, a good many artists changed.
Right.
Well, there are many things that cause you to a person like me to do something like that, and it takes an awful lot of thought and a lot of staying awake at night. I have many friends still at RCA, and I can't say anything against them. I just thought I would make a move, and I did.
Sometimes a fresh start, fresh thing is a good thing for all of us.
Well, that's true.
And it just sort of renews things all over again. And now you've got what sounds like it's Eddy Arnold, but it's a little different sound, and the people are enjoying it. They're really liking it all over again.
You're talking about that new record. You got everything I need?
Yeah, right.
Then it was written by a boy in Missouri.
Oh, who is that?
Wayne Carson.
Oh, yeah, he's from Springfield, I believe.
Absolutely. He wrote it.
And what a great writer he is.
Yeah.
He's written so many songs. One that stands out in my mind is a song he wrote called "Don't Let the Sun Set on You in Tulsa." Did you ever hear that?
I haven't heard that. I have to get him to let me hear that song.
That is some song, but he is quite a writer, and we're going to welcome him to our program one of these days. We like to get the people from Missouri on here. And Eddie, at one time, didn't you live in St. Louis?
Yes, I did. Very, very early in my life. Walter, I have to answer you honestly. I existed.
Very early in your life, when you were pursuing music, you were existing.
I existed, yeah. I had a brother, and we roomed and played in all of the joints, but it was a great time. I was single, and it didn't matter then, I didn't make any money, but I wasn't good. I hadn't paid my dues then.
Right.
And I needed a lot more experience. So we all have to start at the bottom and then work up, and that's the only way you can do it.
Do you still have relatives living in St. Louis?
Yes, I have a sister that lives there, and then I have some cousins, and I seldom come there. Well, sometimes, though, let me be honest with you, sometimes I change planes there, but I don't really call that coming to St. Louis.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm maybe going to the West Coast or going to Denver or something, and I'll change planes in St. Louis.
I believe that the last time you were here, you may not remember it, but you came up to our WIL studios, and I was on in the afternoon at that time.
That's right. I do remember that.
We sat right here and just had a good chat one afternoon.
I remember.
That was a whole lot of fun. You're not only in the music business, Eddy Arnold, but your interests are wide and diversified. Do you still have other interests like real estate, land development, and
Well,
this
on
sort of
a small scale, yes, I get involved a little bit. I have a commercial property, and I operate myself. I'm not really in the real estate business as a broker or a salesman,
Anybody that likes the land or that likes the trees, and we were talking about that a while ago, likes to go out and buy some land. And you buy a little of this, and then you think, well, I saw that and I liked it, or it had a lake on it, or a pond or something. Is that kind of the way you real estate? That's sort of the way I do it.
Yes. In all honesty, I've bought several pieces of real estate. I'd say, gee, that looks good, or I have a feeling that's going to have a great future. And particularly I get that feeling about the future if it's close to a 4-lane highway.
That's right. They're gonna pave America one of these days. Everything's going to have an asphalt top on it, I believe. Speaking of that, that brings us to automobiles. Are you still in the automobile dealership business?
Only from a landlord standpoint. I don't operate. I have a very good dealer that rents property from me. He's a Buick dealer, and a very fine man, and has a fine business, but I have no part of the business itself.
I see. Well, also, our listeners have been asking us. We told everybody you were going to be on the air tonight, and they said, be sure and ask Eddie about Richard, about Dickie, and how he's progressing after we followed his progress after the accident. We knew he was right on the edge, and everybody was praying for him. And
well, let me tell you some good news about him.
Good.
Bless his heart. I just talked to home before I talked to you. He has progressed beautifully. Obviously, he's not fully recovered, but he is certainly improving all the time, and he has such great willpower. He still walks with a cane and has built himself up now to where he can walk a mile a day and sometimes more. But he got a job last week.
Wonderful.
I mean, 3 weeks ago he got him a job, and it just brought his spirits up tremendously. He has a little job that he can do, but he can build from this. And he is so proud of himself because he got the job himself. And, his daddy didn't go out and get it for him. He made the phone calls and got the interview and got the job himself.
Well, that's beautiful, and I know all our listeners are happy to hear about that because they were very concerned when he had the accident.
Well,
and,
I want to tell you that he has a long way to go yet to be back completely normal, but from his mind is so good, and that is the main thing. He can bring the other part of his body around now with his mind coming back and at 100%, and so we're just delighted. He's so happy now. He had gotten to where he was so bored with looking at four walls, and now he has him a job, and he gets his first paycheck this week.
I want to say something right here, Eddie, and I followed this progress very closely after that accident, and without somebody that believes in you, without a father like you, and with the tremendous amount of help, patience, and fortitude that you put into this, his return and recovery, I don't think would have been possible on such a scale as it has been, and we all congratulate you for your part in it, and of course your wife too.
Well, I thank you. I don't deserve any roses. I did what I should do, and we have just dedicated our lives to him, and we're just enjoying his success. And I'd say another 2 years he will probably walk with possibly a little limp, and but he will be back having a normal life just like anybody else.
That's wonderful to hear. Now let's talk about Eddy Arnold and the future things that we'll be watching you on that television thing that you're doing out there right now.
Yes, and I'll have to tell you, I don't know when it's going to be shown, but I'm out here doing that show, and I'm also going to film a commercial, and also going to do a record session.
Oh, great. Do you know what you'll be recording? I think the television show is a stand-up and cheer
That's right,
thing.
just Johnny Mann's.
With the Johnny Mann singers, yeah. And the recording, do you have any idea about the songs you'll be doing?
Oh, gosh. I do, but you never heard of them, so...
they're all that brand new, huh?
New songs, so... I'm rehearsing in between the times I'm rehearsing for the television show. I get a little break and I go rehearse for the recording session.
Let me ask you something. This seems to be a normal thing for somebody that goes to another record company. And have you discussed re-recording some of your earlier hit songs now with MGM records and completely redoing them with a new sound of any kind?
I can't do that.
Oh, is that right?
Contractually, I can't do it.
I see.
You see, there's a clause in my contract that I can't do those songs that I did at RCA. Almost all record companies have that clause with a star that is, a substantial star. They
tie it up pretty well, right?
Tie you up pretty good, and rightfully so.
Right. Yeah. I would imagine. I don't know about legal things like that when the record business comes. I do know that Glenn Campbell told us on the phone last night that his album was going to be 2 weeks late because of the polyvinyl shortage. And that's a big thing in the record industry right now. The vinyl is just not there.
It is. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Golly Bill.
Also, I told him, too, I said, well, suggest to the record companies that they do like they used to. They used to have guys that came around the radio stations and they bought up all the scrap vinyl for a penny a pound. And you know how many records that radio stations have sitting around? They trunk full of those things. I don't know why they don't do that anymore.
Well, that's true. That's true. I saw Glenn a few days ago.
Did you?
Yes.
He was supposed to be on our show at midnight last night, and this was he got in here about 2:15 in the morning. And on the telephone, and he said, well, he was getting ready for his second show, but he's in Las Vegas, and so it was only, I don't know, about 12:15 out there, and that's middle of the day in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I bet he's appearing up at the International.
I think it's the Hilton, Las Vegas Hilton this month.
Oh, that's Hilton International, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what that is. I appeared there in 70.
You've appeared everywhere. You've been in Carnegie Hall, right? And Is there any place, Eddy Arnold, that you haven't appeared that you can think about that you would like to appear?
Yes, on the Mississippi River.
We've got a couple of riverboats out there that'll probably invite you after this telephone call. You know?
Walter, I've been everywhere and met everybody, and now I just want to slow down just a little bit and just, please me for a while.
You're talking about that boat trip from Nashville up the river by Paducah on the Ohio, right?
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you what, Eddy Arnold, we'll look for you out there on your boat. Wave as you go by, because we can see the Mississippi from our studios, okay?
Oh, okay. As I come up by Cahokia over there.
Yeah, right. Just wave as you go by the Peabody Coal Company. And we'll say hi to you. Eddy, thank you so much for being on the Walter Vaughn Show on the Telephone to the Stars. We're going to take ourselves up to news with "I'm Falling in Love Again," and that was an old song that you just brought back so strong, and it's been so strong here in St. Louis that the new one just hasn't really gotten played that much because of it.
Well, I understand, and it's good to talk to you.
It's just a pleasure to talk with you, and here's Eddy.
Oh, I'm falling in love again. Oh. Man, is it...
And you asked me to. 8:48, and you're right on time with $480 in the Telefriend jackpot for in the morning.